Good afternoon. Here's the online tutorial for Unit 3 Part A. Okay, for this unit, we have four questions. Okay, and you have already done on the question 3 and 4. Now we look at the question 1 and 2 first, and then we'll go to the question 3 and 4. Okay, for the first one, it's asking you about Mr. Benson's employment. And by looking at that, the question have already indicate Mr. Benson have a foreign source of employment. You no need to discuss on the source of employment for these questions. What you need to do is to determine what should be the chargeable income of Mr. Benson. Okay, by looking at that, he spent 260 days and 65 days working in Hong Kong and United States respectively. Okay, that means 260 days in Hong Kong, 65 days in United States. Okay, that's why what is the leave day, and that will be 40 days. That is the remaining amount, right? Okay, you need to using the time apportionment approach to determine what should be the chargeable income of Mr. Benson. And in order to determine the total number of days related to Hong Kong, you also need include the leave day pay. Okay, that's why you need to apportion the number of days which is eligible to the Hong Kong service. Okay, in total this 40 days, but he have worked in Hong Kong for 260 days, and that's why among the total working day, the total number of days related to the Hong Kong service of this leave day was 32. Okay, you add up with the Hong Kong working day with this leave pay day, the total number of days will become 292 days. And because of that, his chargeable income will be using the $800,000 times 292 over 365, and the amount will become 640,000. Okay, second questions. Now this question is asking you to determine the source of employment. Now you need to discuss step by step to determine the source. Now, don't jump to a conclusion, mention Mary have a Hong Kong source or foreign source or whatever. You should discuss the formal way to determine the source of employment. Okay, the formal way to determine the source of employment, you should refer to the DIPN 10 and also the COVID case. And according to the DIPN 10, there are 3 factors, right? And that's why you need to mention the 3 factors. And by looking at the marriage situation, you need to discuss what should be the location of the employer resident and status, and also the where is the contract being negotiated, concluded, enforceable, and signed. And the last one will be where is the remuneration is being paid. Okay, that's why you need to discuss all that before you make a conclusion. By looking at those things related to question 2, it seems that Mary have a Taiwan employer, right? It seems that her employer is a Taiwan resident status. And second one will be so simple, and the contract most likely is signed and concluded enforceable in Taiwan. As we have already mentioned, the employer resident status is the most important factor, right? Taiwan seems to be the place where she is being employed, and also her employer is a Taiwan company. It seems to be a foreign source of employment. The only one is the remuneration is being paid in Hong Kong only, right? Okay, that's why apparently it seems to be a Hong Kong source, a Taiwan source, not Hong Kong source. But you will find that by looking at those information in the questions. And and we can find that there is no break between the first contract and the second employment contract. That means originally Mary is being employed by a Hong Kong company, right? And that's why originally she have a contract with the Hong Kong company. But now she is being employed by a Taiwan company. But there is no clear cut in between these two contracts. And the question doesn't mention also, right? And also, by looking at that, it seems that there is no cessation of the employment of the Hong Kong company. And because of that, that will be one of the another point that you can mention about the employer and the employee doesn't expressly stay in the correspondence. There is a cessation of employment of the Hong Kong employment. This means seems to be Mary still being employed by Hong Kong company at the same time she also employed by Taiwan company. And also by looking at those information in the question, it seems that there is some artificial arrangement. And what does this mean? Because those information mentioned, Mary is being employed by a Taiwan company, is quite artificial. And there is no contract actually being signed between the two parties. And also she is still being under control by the Hong Kong company. And also I already mentioned if the IRD, the Inland Revenue Department mentioned have already take a provision. If there is any artificial arrangement, what will be the action? It will be the IRD will look beyond the three factors. That means the three factors will not take into consider. They will look into the facts, and they will apply the totality of facts approach to look into the matters. And because of that, it seems that the fact is Mary is still under the control of the Hong Kong company, and she is still being employed by the Hong Kong company. And those things, it seems that she has a Hong Kong source of employment rather than a Taiwan source of employment or foreign source of employment. Okay, that's why that will be the conclusion. And you need to discuss all that clearly. Okay, don't jump to a conclusion so quickly, or foreign source and finish, or for Hong Kong source finish. Okay, you should also mention those case and the DIPN 10 and those factors, and what will be the IRD actions. Okay, then question 3. Question 3 is about an executive manager of a UK company, and he required to travel to a lot of the place in Southeast Asia, including Korea, Hong Kong, Japan, and China, Singapore, all that place. Okay, by looking at the travel schedule among the 3 years, 2017 to 2019, okay, you will find that there are different periods that he come to Hong Kong. And for this one, you will find that it doesn't give you the number of days. That's why you need to count the number of days in each year of assessment by yourself. But if the question have already given you the days, then you no need to count the number of days by your own. Okay, you just use the information in the question, that will be sufficient enough. But for this one, you will find that you need to do it by yourself. You need to count. When you count, I have already mentioned the approach. There is time in, time out base. After you count the number of days, then you will use the time apportionment approach to determine the amount that will be subject to Hong Kong salary tax. Okay? Okay, because of that, you need to count the number of days, bit by bit, day by day. Okay, and then according to the question, you need to determine 2 years assessment. That is this two, right? Okay, 2017 and 18, 18 and 19. That's why you need to count the number of days related to this 2 year of assessment first. And then you need to explain whether James is subject to salary tax in Hong Kong or not. Okay, now we count. And also you need to discuss those things related to the questions. Okay, by looking at that, finally, basically, James should have a foreign source of employment. Okay, the three factors are totally supported that he has a foreign source of employment. Okay, and similar things. Okay, uh, then you need to count the number of days. Okay, for the first period of the time, that will be related to 1st of April 2018 and 21 April 2018. Okay, by looking at this one, uh, that will be 20 days in total. Okay, then the second period, that will be 1st of May 2018 to 30 July 2018. That is in total 90 days. And also in this period of the time, there are include 10 days is the leave day. Okay, then go down to another period, that is 8th of August 2018 and 31 August, and that is 23 days in total. 1st of October 2018 to 21 October, 20 days. 15 November 18 to 20 December 18, 35 days. Okay, that's why the total number of days in this year, that will be 188 days, right? But as we all know that this 188 days, including 10 days, is the leap day. And that's why the working day is just 178 only. Okay, you need to deduct this 10 days out of the total. And we need to apportion the 10 days. How many days is related to the Hong Kong service, which is attributable to Hong Kong service. Okay, then we will apportion this 10 days. Okay, then apportion according to the number of days that is being worked in Hong Kong, and then the number of working days in the year to apportion. Finally, we can find out 5 days only. Okay, 5 days add up with this 178 total number of days, 183. Okay, that's why the portion time apportionment, the number of days that is being used for the calculation of the chargeable income of Mr. James Bond, that will be 183 days over 365 days. Okay, because of that, and then we can work out the amount. According to that, Mr. James Bond have the total salary is 1,440,000. Okay, as the time apportionment approach, the amount that will be divided by 35, and finally the amount will be 721,972, the assessable income. Okay, and we go to the second, the fourth one, not the second one, the fourth one. Okay, the fourth one is about John Jones, being employed by RA Corporation, a large international corporation based in Australia. According to his employment contract, it is enforceable in Australia. John's duty are performed exclusively to oversee supervise operation of various affiliate company of the RA Corporation in the Southeast Asia. Okay, that's why it's so straightforward. By looking at that, John should have a foreign source of employment. But if the question, and you will find that it's asking to explain and to determine about John, whether he is subject to Hong Kong salary tax. And you also need to discuss all those things that I have already mentioned in question 3. First of all, you should mention about the DIPN 10, the 3 factors, and then to discuss each of that, whether the employer resident status is in Australia or not, his contract is being negotiated, concluded, enforceable in Australia or not, and also where it's being paid. All this is in Australia. 3 factor is in Australia, so simple. Foreign source of employment. And then After you have discussed all that, you need to discuss about the 60-day rule and the exemption rule. And then about that, and it seems that in the year he come to Hong Kong, okay, 175 days in total. Okay, that's why he cannot enjoy any full exemption, and we will apply the time apportionment approach to determine the amount, right? Okay, that's why you have discussed all that. The second part is asking to compute the accessible income of Mr. John Jones and for the year. Okay, and also require you to explain the item 6 and 8. Okay, because of that, first of all, we will work out what will be the accessible income of Mr. John Jones. Okay, by looking at that, his annual salary is 1.2 million. Okay, and then he got a home leave traveling allowance 80,000, of which 65,000 was actually expensed for the air ticket for his home leave purpose. But no matter how, as we all know that for the traveling allowance, expenses are fully taxable. That's why should be this amount will be taken into the calculations. And entertainment allowance of 100,000, oh, fully taxable cash allowance. Okay, number 4, the company provide here a company car. The value of the car is worth $200,000. Second hand is 150,000. But no matter how, that is the company car, right? That's why there is not a convertible benefit. It won't be taken into consider. But the second part about John, the petrol cost. This allowance is a cash allowance, 1,000 per month. That's why that will be fully taxable. This $1,000 per month. Okay, that's why that should be times 12 also. Okay, then the fifth one about the company operate a medical insurance scheme for all the employee through the insurance company called Bupa. In this year, he is seriously ill and in the hospital for 1 month, and he still carry out his employment duty in the hospital. He paid an extra amount, 60,000 for a private room. And for the amount 335 were being paid by the Bupa medical insurance company, and that's why this portion will not be taxable. But the other portion are being reimbursed by RA, and that's why this portion will be fully taxable because that is not being paid by our insurance company, and the amount is being reimbursed by the company. That will be fully taxable. Okay, then other than that, the company have set up an educational trust, and that's why the trust provide 164,000 to his son education. That's why this portion will not be taxable, will not taxable. Okay, that is being paid by a trust fund, not paid by the employer. Okay, then upon the recommendation of the director, and John successfully joined the Hong Kong Jockey Cup. Now, by looking at that, he paid the annual subscription fee 36,000, but half of the amount being reimbursed by the company. Okay, for this half of the amount, that is fully taxable. Why? Because the membership liability is on John only, because there is not a company membership account, right? He joined the Jockey Cup by himself, and the membership is Mr. John Jones' account. That's why the company reimburse half of the amount the membership fee to him should be fully taxable. Okay, and also in this year, the company helped him to pay Hong Kong salary tax, 150,000. This is fully taxable, no time apportionment, because that is related to the Hong Kong purely. It's nothing related to the other country or the other place. That's why this will be fully taxable. But the other tax is nothing related to Hong Kong, and that's why that should be ignored, should not be included in our computation. Okay, that's why we can work out the concerning amount, the accessible value of John Jones. Okay, first of all, annual salary, home leave traveling allowance, entertainment, petrol costs. Now you better to show the working right here, okay, and that will be more clear about how you work out the figures. If in case you work it wrongly, and then you still have the working marks. Okay, and then the private hospital room, and that will be the portion reimbursed by the company. And then the reimburse of the half of the Jockey Cup subscription fee, and that will be 18,000. Okay, total will be 1,435,000 in total. Okay, that is the total annual income of John Jones. Okay, then according to the rule, the extended charges sessions, here are foreign source of employment, and we will apply the time apportionment base approach to determine the amount, and then we need to determine the number of days related to the Hong Kong service. Okay, that will be in total 182.5 days. Okay, and then we will multiply this amount and work out, that will be 717,500. And also you need to add up with the tax being paid by the employer, because that is purely related to the Hong Kong service and the Hong Kong salary, and the company help him to pay, and that's why that will be fully taxable, no time apportionment. And finally, the total accessible income, that will be 867,500 in total. Okay, that will be the way to work it out. Okay, that's all for this tutorial questions. If you have any question, you may through the chat room to ask me, or ask me through email finally. Okay, we still need to explain on the two items. Okay, and I already explained to you originally. Okay, first one is about the children education, because that is paid out of a trust fund. According to some of the case mentioned about, that will not be taxable, because that is paid out of a trust fund rather than paid by the employer. Okay, other than that, it's about the salary tax, Hong Kong salary tax being paid by the employer. Okay, that is fully taxable also. Okay, and that is not related to that is purely related to Hong Kong. This amount should be fully taxable. The other tax paid by the employer will not be taken into consider. Okay, that's why just the portion that will be included is in the accessible income. Okay, and that will be the answer of those tutorial questions. Okay, that's all for this tutorial questions. If you have questions, you may ask me through the chat room. Okay,